Protect your car with 3W Liners all-weather floor mats. Made from durable materials like TPE and rubber, our mats are designed to withstand rain, snow, and mud with deep grooves to trap dirt and liquids. For a custom fit and advanced protection, visit 3W Liners. That's the number 3, WLINERS.com today. At Acasis, innovation drives us. Since 2008, we've been creating cutting-edge technology products that make your life easier. With a focus on performance, design, and customer service, we're here to help you work smarter, not harder. Join us on our journey to simplify your world. Visit acasis.com today. That's ACASIS.com today.
Farmhounds offers natural treats and chews made with quality products that support family farms, regenerative agriculture, and humane farming practices. Give your dog the best with wholesome, organic ingredients that promote health and happiness. Shop now at farmhounds.com. Unlock a world of convenience with Mully Box, your one-stop solution for personalized subscription boxes delivered right to your door. From gourmet snacks to unique finds, each box is tailored to your tastes. Experience the joy of surprises. Subscribe today at mullybox.com. That's MULLYBOX.com. We are Rogue Media Sports.
Welcome in. It's the Cam Show, Rogue Media Sports Network. Happy Tuesday to you. I'm your host, Cam Stewart. Zach Burke keeps us on the air 5 days a week. We are live on YouTube and then available wherever you get your podcasts. Today, we have to address this. Do the Red Sox just suck? Like, is that the reality we have to live in now, that the Red Sox are just not good? We'll talk about that. We will talk about the Bruins potentially having a resignation in their front office this week, and also the Belichick video. Not a great one. We have to address this. This Belichick girlfriend situation down at North Carolina is very, very, very weird, and it's okay to say that it is. But this newest video is one of the most bizarro Bill Belichick things I have ever seen. Ever. It's just crazy that it's come to this. Anyway, all that and more coming up on this episode of The Cam Show. The Red Sox. The Red Sox just aren't very good. They're just not a good baseball team. And if you want to see what the 2025 Red Sox are and don't want to torture yourself by actually watching them play a game, go to Netflix and go watch The Clubhouse. It's not very good. It's not very entertaining, but you'll get an idea of what the 2024 Red Sox were. And that's exactly what the 2025 Red Sox are. This season comes in with so much hope, so much expectation, so much newness to this team. And really, what this team is in the middle of April is last year's team. They're not any better. None of the things you circled in the offseason that you were like they really need to improve on have they improved on, except getting an ace starting pitcher. And I think what this stretch will show you is that is, of course, important, but it is not the end-all, be-all. Because Garrett Crochet has been as advertised, and you're thinking that extension is going to be a bargain. And yet we're still sitting here talking about this team sucks. And they do. An eighth of the way through the season or whatever it is. They stink. 8-10. You lose the series to the team that was the worst team in the history of modern baseball last year and didn't get any better in the offseason, the Chicago White Sox. They had lost 8 or 9 in a row until you rolled into town. And then it was, the weather's bad. It's so cold. Oh, my God, it's so cold in Boston. It's so cold in Chicago. Is it cold in Tampa? What's the weather like in Tampa right now? 75 and sunny, too cold for you? Because that was the worst loss they've had in 3 years. 16-1. What a fucking joke. And oh, yeah, by the way, it's cold in April. It's cold in October. Toronto had to play in the cold. They kicked your ass. The White Sox, the worst team in modern baseball, they played the same temperature as you did this weekend, and they fucking kicked your ass. So cut it out with the weather. This team sucks. I'm sorry. I know it's early in the season, and we all had hope for this, but this right now is exactly what it was in 2024. Same thing. Suspect pitching rotation, check. Nothing fixed there. No Giolito, no Bayo. Dick Fitz, not very good. Walker Buehler, not very good. So you haven't fixed that. Okay. How about third base production? Haven't fixed that. How about infield defense? Haven't fixed that. Shortstop production, marginally better. Center field production with Sanan Rafaela out there. Haven't fixed that. Need another season where Jarren Duran is a top 10 MVP vote getter? That's not happening so far. Oh, you missed your first baseman for all of last year. You need better first base production. He's back, and you haven't fixed that either. Infield defense, fucking horrible. Worst in the league. 5 errors against the White Sox the other night. Tanner Houck, question marks about his spring. Did they push him too far last year? Spring training really sucked. Oh, don't worry. Once he gets into the regular season, it will all just be okay. It will just all click. That's what happens in baseball. That's what happens with guys like Tanner Houck. How about this? His last spring training start against Tampa, by the way, 3 2/3, 12 hits, 10 runs, 10 earned runs, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts, and a homer. How about his last regular season outing against Tampa last night? 2 1/3, 10 hits, 12 runs, 11 earned runs, 2 walks, a strikeout, and 2 homers. 11 earned runs in 2 1/3 innings. He gave up more than twice as many earned runs than he got outs. What is the magic fix here? Because, of course, we want to see Marcelo Meyer. We want to see Roman Anthony. But those guys don't fix this right here. They don't fix a team that scored 18 runs last Sunday and in the 8 games since have scored 15. They don't fix the fact that this team leads the league in strikeouts and has hit 2 homers in the last week. So much for the bat-to-ball ability. So much for the drive line, putting the ball in play. They are the most strikeouts in the league, and they are the worst team with runners in scoring position in baseball. That is the antithesis of putting the fucking baseball in play. Left side of your infield stinks defensively. 2 Gold Glovers out there, and they both stink. And now, magically, 18 games into the season with an 8-10 record, we're having a serious thought about, do you just need to put Devers back at third base? Let him suck, but at least, I don't know, it gets some people more engaged. Because Bregman has not been this great revelation at third base defensively. He's still a better defender than Rafi Devers, but he's booting balls out there too. Jarren Duran's throwing the ball to the wrong base. Trevor Story committing errors, starting to hit a little bit. Tristan Casas, who you just missed so much in 2024. And we just get Casas back. There's your reward. You got Casas back. 2 weeks into the season, you have to move him off the cleanup spot because he's so horrid. You put him at 6, he's not much better. And you're saying, maybe if Wilyer Abreu hits 420 for the entire season, we'll be okay with this lineup. I don't like saying a team gets lucky to win, but let's look at it realistically since that 18 to whatever win against the Cardinals last Sunday. You were lucky to win that game that you did against Toronto. Lucky. Like two guys in the 10th or 11th inning, whatever they wanted in, are hit by pitches, one of them with 2 strikes. And you win on a squib ground ball with the infield in, booted by a platinum glover. That's lucky. That's a lucky win. So you take that luck out of it, you get swept in 4 games by Toronto, who was supposed to finish last in your division this year, and then you lose the first 2 to Chicago, and you need your ace, the one guy you have this year, to take a no-hitter into the 8th inning to beat the worst team in modern baseball history. That's all you needed to scratch out 2 wins in the last week. This team's a fucking joke, man. They're a joke. And I wonder when we start looking at the manager for some of this. Alex Cora, the player's manager. Really? Because all there was drama in the offseason. All there was drama in spring training, and there's goddamn drama with these players every single year. Every year there's drama. Oh, but he'll get them back to fundamental baseball. Really? They don't know what bases to throw to. They're booting it everywhere. They're committing 5 errors in a single game. What I've always knocked him for is he hasn't had his starting pitching ready, ever, really. The starting pitchers are never ready to start a season for this Red Sox team. Do I need to bring the lines back up again? Tanner Houck's last spring training start versus what he had last night? Like, it's all the same shit every year, man. It's the same crap. Their offense is horrid. They can't put the ball in play. Their defense is just as bad. Their starting pitching is brutal 2 through 5. And I don't know how much better it gets when Brian Bayo gets back based off what he gave you last year. Because he was a guy you extended to an 8-year deal as your opening day starter. And 1 year later, you said, oh boy, we need to go out there and trade prospects for an ace. So I don't know how much better that gets when Bayo steps back onto the field. But it will be the hitting coach. It will be the pitching coach. Those guys will be canned before anyone comes near Alex Cora. Because these slow starts, they happen all the time under him. And oh, by the way, the only 2 times that the Red Sox have had a winning record through 20 games under Alex Cora, they've gone to the playoffs. The only 2 times were 2018 and 2021. His only 2 playoff appearances with the Red Sox. The rest have not been that, and this is not going to be that. The best they could be is 10-10 through 20 games. So they're not going to eclipse a winning record through the first 20 games. And you're looking at what? 2-3 last place finishes in there in his tenure. A super disappointing season, albeit with a winning record in 2019. Like, how are we kidding ourselves? What are we set up for here? This team has more talent than last year on paper, but you don't win games on paper. And you certainly don't win it with the Microsoft Excel spreadsheet the way they're running it. You know, some organizations that works. And this organization, it used to work. But clearly this approach is not the approach. That was an absolute massacre last night. Massacre. You know, I'm sitting there. I'm out in the second inning, and I come back, and it's 5-0. And you're like, oh, good Lord, man. Then Christian Campbell homers, the only guy who's hitting for this team consistently. And you're like, okay, sign of life here. You got one back. Now you need a shutdown inning in the bottom of the third. What you got was the worst inning by the Red Sox in 3 years since they gave up like 27 runs in that game to Toronto a couple years ago with Sidney Sweeney and Jared Duran looking for the fly ball. Because then the absolute fucking wheels fall off. 30-minute half inning, 9 runs. Tanner Houck is nowhere near getting through it. And all of a sudden, it's 14-1. And the most amazing part about this game last night was that the Rays only scored 2 runs in the last 6 innings. 5 innings. 16-1 to Tampa in a minor league ballpark. And you expect us to be like, yeah, this is the year for the postseason? God, I hope they don't go to the postseason. It's cold in October. They can't play in the cold. I can't believe how much bitching I'm hearing about the weather. Now it's shut down because Tampa's not cold. And you got your ass kicked again. Like, this is a team full of losers, is what it is. Devers has won a World Series with the team. Bregman's obviously won 2 World Series. But then it's a team full of losers, man. Casas, Story, Duran, Abreu. These guys haven't won. They don't win anything. Garrett Crochet. These guys do not win, man. And what do you know? They're losing out of the gate. Maybe my favorite stat from last night. Not from last night's game, but was tweeted out last night. This guy, Boston Sports Gordo, on Twitter. You want hope? The Red Sox started 14-18 through May 6th in 2011. Last place. But by May 26th, they were 28-22, and they were in first. It can turn around fast. They were 83-52 on August 31st. It's a long season. Remember how great 2011 was? Remember that great glory of 2011? Remember how awesome it was that they were in first place on August 31st? You remember how they didn't make the playoffs a month later? Remember how they went 7-20 after that? So yeah, I'm looking for my hope from the 2011 Red Sox. God, I hope they turn it around and piss all the way down their leg in September, because that is when it starts to get chilly again. Like, find me a stat that gives you some hope about this Red Sox team. I'm telling you, right now, they have not improved on anything from last year other than getting an ace starting pitcher, which is great. But it is not the end-all, be-all. That one good starting pitcher does not get you into the playoffs. You know what team had one ace starting pitcher last year? The White Sox. They had the guy you have right now. And look at the wonders it did for them. It's exhausting watching this team, man. It really is. They suck at every part of the game right now. 2 homers in a week for this offense. 15 runs in 8 games. How are you going to beat anybody? How are you going to beat anybody doing that? And you saw in the post game last night, you saw a broken man in Alex Cora. I don't know what to do. Get back to fundamental baseball. This one's on me. It is. It is, man. The approach is horrific. Their fundamental baseball is dreadful. That's what's annoying. It's not one guy that's slumping. It's not 1 or 2 guys that's slumping. It's not even the guy who was slumping at the beginning of the season who's slumping. But they're all slumping. And you've got nothing out of the catcher position, by the way. Nothing. That was one I should have talked about earlier. Absolutely nothing. Blake Sabol, God love him, former Wareham Gateman, just can't throw guys out, can't keep his glove out of the batter's bats. Like, you know why he's a quadruple A guy? It's right there. It's not like you were getting anything out of Connor Wong anyway. This team's got a long way to go. A long way to go. Because right now, Red Sox fans are sitting in their seatbelts on so they don't get hurt again. Say, here we go again. That's what this franchise is now. You can sell some more jerseys. Get some butts in the seats when the weather's warm, maybe. And you'll talk about how competitive the AL East is. And you'll sit out of the playoff spots again. But you'll make a profit. Good for you guys. Good for you, Fenway Sports Group. The team stinks again. The enormous amounts of hope that the fans had for this team has been sucked right out of it in the middle of April. We didn't even make it to Patriots Day yet. Haven't even made it to Marathon Monday, and you've just sucked all the hope out of this like a fucking vacuum cleaner. It's embarrassing to watch this team, man. And this city is dying for a good baseball team. Just so famished for a good baseball team. The Patriots are the laughingstock of the NFL. The Bruins are heading for a top 5 pick. The Celtics are all we've got right now. Just all we've got. And anything short of a championship for them is a failure. And finally, you make some moves in the offseason to hopefully improve a baseball team. And by mid-April, you're just checked out. You're already in on the Patriots making a draft pick at 4 to change the franchise, because the baseball team is going to absolutely wear you out by the end of July, and you'll be ready for Patriots training camp. 16-1. 16-1. Give me a break. What an awful, awful start to the season. You take away that St. Louis series because, as I said last week, there's no St. Louis Cardinals in this division. And you're a terrible baseball team. You're talking about being what? 5-10. You win a third of your games. Guess where that gets you? At the end of a 162 game season. It's not good. It is not good. You're losing about 100 games in that scenario. So I don't think they'll lose 100 games, but they have a long way to go before they are a playoff team, which is what we thought they would for sure be going into this season. Maybe it's on us. Maybe we had too high of expectations for them. But this is nowhere close to a playoff team right now. Thankfully, we're not close to the playoffs. But this team would need something dramatic soon in order to get this fan base to have some hope again. Because we've seen this movie before. And we're watching it on Netflix right now. We've seen this season 3 years in a row. And 2 of them you finished in last place. Good golly. Can't wait for that to happen again. Can't wait for the old hometown 9 to pull the rug out from under us again. Going to be a ton of fun. And maybe with a ton of improvement here, they will be better than the Bruins. Because that's been a shit show. And it might lead to some serious change up in the Bruins front office. We'll talk about that next on the Camp Show.
We'll be right back after these quick words from our sponsors. This is Rogue Media Network.
Tervis is all about staying hydrated with style and durability. You can trust Tervis tumblers to keep your drinks the perfect temperature, hot or cold, for hours. From the classic insulated tumblers to sleek stainless steel water bottles, each product is built to last and comes in endless designs to match your personality. Stay refreshed and express yourself with Tervis. Visit tervis.com today and find your perfect tumbler.
Since our founding, we've been revolutionizing hair removal with cutting-edge technology and a commitment to empowerment. The U-Like Air 3, launched in 2023, ushers in a new era of sapphire ice cooling technology, offering nearly painless hair reduction in just 3 weeks. Experience the future of hair removal today at ulike.com, because at Ulike, beauty is about looking and feeling good. That's ulike.com. Ulike. With Ease US, make studio quality voiceovers for your videos online in over 149 languages and dialects, featuring 468 natural AI voices. Customize the volume, mood, and pauses to perfectly match your content. Plus, capture high quality videos with no watermark. Record your screen, webcam, and voice, and save them instantly to your computer. Never been easier to create professional grade videos and voiceovers. Try it today at easeus.com. That's EASEUS.com. Ease US.
Just use AMP-Pace.
AMP-Pace.
And now, back to our show.
Back to the Cam Show on Rogue Media Sports Network. I'm your host, Cam Stewart. Zach Burke, keeping us on the air, as he does every weekday live at high noon Eastern time. And then we're available wherever you get your podcasts as well. Some good news on the Red Sox front after I just lambasted them for the whole first segment. The Tampa Bay Rays have not won on April 15th, which is today's date, in 14 years. So put that feather in your cap. April 15th, 2011. Last time they won on this date. So, hallelujah. Is that Jackie Robinson Day? Is that today? Sounds right. April 15th. I think that's correct. Also, the late, great Patrick Sullivan's birthday today. And for the Bruins, I've said this before on this show, and I hate how much of a theme this has become in Boston sports, because this is the second time in 4 months, not even, that I've had to plead this on the Cam Show for one of the Boston sports teams. Last game of the regular season, Boston Bruins, please lose. Please lose. Like, no win is going to erase what happened this season. It's not going to make it feel any better. It's not going to make the shirt off our back ceremony any less awkward. Just lose. A loss, which they should have done on Sunday. A loss is going to get them into that number 4 slot, okay? Which means they got pretty good odds at number 1 pick in the draft, and will get them no lower than 6th in the draft, which would still be shit in this draft, but still, You're not picking 8th or 10th. Just don't fuck this up any more than you already have. Okay? The season is a total waste. There's 0 to gain if you win this game. Just lose it. That's all. That's all I'm asking for you. I ask you to win a lot. You've won a lot in my life as a Bruins fan. I'm asking you to lose. I'm asking you politely to lose to the New Jersey Devils, who you beat 7-2 last week. Just real easy. Do what you've been doing most of the season. Do what you've done most of 2025 in particular. And since the Four Nations break, have the Devils score more goals than you do. And maybe, just maybe, they're picking in the top 5 and there's something that can kind of kickstart this thing back up. The thing that I really want the Bruins to do is to lose their last regular season game. And there is some news coming out this week that would be the second thing that I would want the Bruins to do, because the Greg Hill Show is reporting that they have heard from sources that there is a resignation going down in the Bruins front office on Wednesday. That would be, of course, after the last regular season game. It's the time for exit interviews and all that. And they use the term resignation. I don't think a source is feeding them that the PR director is resigning. Okay? Front office resignation means one of two or two of two things. GM Don Sweeney, President Cam Neely. One or both of those guys is resigning, according to this report. And I know the grass isn't always greener on the other side, but I think that would probably be the best move for the Boston Bruins. And the response to this report is what has really shocked me about Bruins fans, because we've all gone through this season. It's been ass, okay? And the coach you canned as the hottest team in the league the last 2 months and is going to go to the playoffs. Oh, and the coach you canned before that has already won a cup and has a chance at winning another cup again this year, Bruce Cassidy. And you've seen the roster and these AHL players they throw out there every night. And yet there are still Bruins fans out there that are like, you really want to do a rebuild with someone other than Don Sweeney? Yes. Yes, I do. Are you kidding me? And the prevailing one that I saw on social media after this report was, really? I thought the Bruins handled this trade deadline as perfectly as you should have. And now you're going to fire him? Because if you think that the Bruins ownership would want to move on from Don Sweeney because of this trade deadline, you're insane. If you think they want to move on from him because of this trade deadline and not the horrible roster mismanagement over the last few years, the terrible free agent signings, the fact that you haven't been able to replace anybody that you've let walk, and having the worst prospect pool in the entire NHL, if that's not a good enough reason for you and you have to go to this year's trade deadline, then you're not watching this team. You don't know anything about this team if that is your thought. And if you really trust Don Sweeney and Cam Neely to pick this thing back up from the most ground zero as this franchise has been in 20 years, then I don't know what you've been following. I'd rather have just about anybody else make the pick, a top 5 pick, than Don Sweeney. What is the thing we clown on him the most? You know, what do we clown on the Bruins the most? The 2015 draft. 3 picks in a row, and they don't really hit on any of them. The only one they hit on just set his career high for goals in a season this year. It did it last night for the Vancouver Canucks. Not for you. He ran a Stanley Cup winning coach out of your locker room, and then 2 years later, he was gone for nothing. And yet, there are Bruins fans out there that are like, yeah, I want Don Sweeney to make the pick. Oh, you don't want to start over in the front office. Why not? You're starting over everywhere else. You need to start over your roster completely outside of Pasternak and McAvoy, okay? You need to start over with another head coach. Why not have the people who are actually pulling the strings start over? There have been a ton of rebuttals to this. Frank Saravalli, who covers the NHL pretty extensively, the whole of the NHL, not the Bruins, has said that this is not the case that he's hearing, that there won't be a resignation here in the front office. Don Sweeney and Cam Neely were both not in the end-of-year team photo for the Bruins. Odd. They usually are. So read into that what you will. But I'm really stunned that there are Bruins fans out there that are like, this isn't the answer. I just don't. I don't get it. And I'm hoping that it's just a soft underbelly of Bruins fans, because obviously an entire fan base is not represented on Twitter or Facebook or Instagram or YouTube. They're not. But here's what I've always said about Don Sweeney. He's iffy at making trades. Okay. He's not good at free agent signings. He's not good at the draft. He's not good at evaluating talent. And he's not good at keeping his draft capital. But other than that, he's a good GM. Oh, and he's not good at knowing when to fire coaches either, when to let them go. But other than that, he's a bang-on general manager. He went to Harvard. Ooh. He played, 1,000 games for the Bruins and laid out 10 hits in his career. There's no direction from this franchise. There's none. And we said that all year, right? The rest of the league is trying to get more depth and more speed and more secondary scoring. And the Bruins are trying to get big and tough. Like it's 1988. Trying to get a little bit bigger, a little bit tougher. With Elias Lindholm and Nikita Zadorov. It gets you to the basement of the Eastern Conference. They're going to finish last in the Eastern Conference. They went from 2 years ago, their competition being teams like Tampa and Vegas and these teams at the top of the league, to their competition is now San Jose, Chicago, Buffalo, Philadelphia. These awful, horrid franchises that we clowned on for years. I look at a hockey team in fucking Utah that is in a better place than the Bruins are right now. Or the Anaheim Ducks in a better place than where the Bruins are right now, looking at their future. The San Jose Sharks, Macklin Celebrini and Will Smith, they might have a better outlook on the future than the Bruins do, especially if the Bruins keep Don Sweeney. So I'm hoping this Greg Hill report is true. That would be great news for the Bruins franchise. If either Don Sweeney or Cam Neely or both are drafting their resignation letters right now. And it obviously sucks on the Cam Neely side for diehard Bruins fans, because as a player, he's one of the great Bruins ever, and was a fan favorite, genuinely one of my top 3 or 4 favorite players of all time, to sound like Bill Simmons there. He's on my personal Mount Rushmore of favorite hockey players ever, and was obviously a big part of building the 2011 Cup team. But the league is way different than it was 15 years ago. And these guys haven't adapted. They're still trying to go big, ugly, and tough and slow. And it doesn't work. You've got a lineup full of AHL guys out there. And they took flyers on a bunch of these guys. I think they got some good draft capital in return on the trade deadline. That's why I said that Donnie's only so-so in trades rather than being downright bad. They got some good returns there. I thought that was a good, positive day for Don Sweeney. I still think they could have got more for Marchand, and Florida is a real risk of not winning 2 playoff series right now. They're going to be the third place team in the Atlantic Division. They'll have to go on the road against Tampa and Toronto to get there. So that doesn't look good. But overall, I thought you handled that trade deadline fine. But now you've got the pieces in place. You've got some first-round picks finally. You've got first and seconds for the first time in the same draft for the first time in like 8 years. You got a first-round pick from Toronto. This Fraser Minton kid looks like he might be able to be something for you as long as you don't try to make him into Charlie Coyle. And you've got the pieces in place to start to turn this thing around. Maybe it's gradually, maybe you make a big move this offseason, but you've got some options in terms of your future for the first time in a while. I don't want that future in Don Sweeney's hands. I really don't. I don't want this top 5 pick in Don Sweeney's hands. I don't know how anybody who's watching this team, watching this franchise over the last few years, I don't know how anybody could want that. But apparently there's some of you out there that think, oh, he handled the trade deadline so well, we got to keep him aboard. I just can't. I can't see it. So I'm hoping that Greg Hill is right. EEI has been wrong on the Bruins a lot recently. At least we think. Rich Keefe had the report a couple months ago about the rift between Marchand and Pastrnak. They came out and denied that, viciously denied that. But Pastrnak, as we talked about with Matt Berry last week, Pasternak's been pretty great since Marchand's left. I don't know if that's him having to shoulder the whole load or what. But he's been arguably the best offensive player in the league since Marchand left. And maybe you could make that case he's been the best offensive player in the league since January 1st. So maybe EI was onto something on that. I hope they're onto something here. Greg Hill, I'm not a fan. I think the show is boring as all get out, but he does have connections within the Bruins. Like, he's been right about Bruins things before. He was right on about the Tuukka retirement. He was right on about the whole Bruce Cassidy drama and the Jake DeBrusk thing. He was on that. So maybe he's right. And that would be a monumental day for the Bruins on Wednesday if Don Sweeney and or Cam Neely hands in their resignation. And it would be exactly what this franchise needs, a fresh start. A fresh start. And let's not screw up the finally getting some capital, draft capital, prospect capital, cap capital here. Let's not mess it up. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments section below. Would this be a great deal for the Bruins, or do you want Don Sweeney to stay on and build this thing back up? And if you do, please explain to me why. Let me know in the comment section below. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, ring that notification bell to get notified every time we are going live. We are live on YouTube, high noon Eastern time, every weekday, and then available wherever you get your podcasts. I'm Cam Stewart, your host. Zach Burke keeps us on the air. Check out the other videos on the channel to keep up with Boston sports, which we bring to you 5 days a week. How the mighty have fallen. Bill Belichick. This thing has hit a new low with the video that came out over the weekend. We have to analyze and deep dive this. We have to do it next on the Cam Show.
We'll be right back after these quick words from our sponsors. This is Rogue Media Network.
I don't know, if Bubble wasn't here, I don't know what people would be doing, like making PowerPoints or something. Bubble allows you to make it real and for it to actually work. So I feel like Bubble bridges that gap and being able to give people the opportunity to make their ideas come to life really quickly too. I love that I can sit down and build something the way that I think it should be built and have the control over it.
Bubble turns ideas into fully scalable apps. Try Bubble today.
Hi, I'm Jo from Face Theory. You're going to want to have a specific goal for your skincare routine. What do you want to achieve? Active ingredients are really strong, and if you're using too many at once, your skin can get overwhelmed. Don't overspend on products. Choose products that have scientific research behind them. At Face Theory, if you're not happy with a product, just say so, just give us a shout and we'll give you your money back, no problem.
I know you're gonna love this Kodak Dot Plus printer. You guys just connect it to your smartphone and then you're gonna use the Kodak Photo Print app. It's going to print you a 4x6 photo. I am just in awe. I love how these turned out. Also, the printer comes with a free cartridge of 10 photo sheets. I can assure you, you are going to love this printer as much as my family has. You guys have to check it out for yourself.
Streamline event and appointment booking with Amelia's sleek, modern, and fully customizable booking forms. Tailor the colors, fonts, and design to match your brand and seamlessly integrate with your WordPress website. Whether it's for events or appointments, Amelia makes booking simple, stylish, and perfectly aligned with your business. Enhance your booking experience today at WPAmelia.com. That's WPAMELIA.com. Amelia.
And now, back to our show.
Now back to the show. Thank you, Pete, for bringing us back to the show. The show is the Cam Show. Pete Souza is on before us on the Rogue Media Sports Network. I'm Cam Stewart, your host. Zach Burke keeps us on the air. We'll hear from Zach in a minute, actually, which surprises him, which stuns him. But we are bringing you nothing but Boston sports content live on YouTube, high noon Eastern time, every weekday, 5 days a week, and then wherever you get your podcasts as well. We've talked a little Red Sox. We have talked about the Bruins in the last one, and I guess this is Patriots adjacent. Everything that Bill Belichick does is still of some interest to me, and I think to most Patriots fans. But obviously, we've talked about it a lot, like how far the Patriots have fallen the last 5 years. It's weird. Brady's a bad color commentator. Robert Kraft is just begging to get in the Hall of Fame. And somehow, I didn't think this was possible, but Bill Belichick has come out the weirdest. He was awkwardly on the Manning cast this past year, which I enjoyed because I like the football X's and O's talk. Then he takes a college job, which he'd never worked in college. It was kind of weird. And this is the weirdest time to be a college coach with NIL and transfer portal. And then there's Jordan Hudson, his 24-year-old girlfriend, who has become his handler. That she has taken that job from Matt Patricia, so Matt Patricia could go coach in college football himself at Ohio State. And this video comes out over the weekend, and I can't, man. This is so bizarre. This is too much here, man. Like, what is this? This is at Carolina's practice. Like, it's on the field, decked out. This is Bill Belichick. This is Bill Belichick we're talking about here. And she's just walking out of the field during a football practice. Look at this awkward moment this assistant's about to have. He's trying to talk football as his job with his head coach. And he's got to, oh, okay, Jordan's over here. I'm going to go check my phone. In New England, the assistants wouldn't even have a phone on the field. Like, what? Could you imagine that happening for the Patriots at all? This was the ultimate, like, do your job, tunnel vision, just play football, don't talk to the media, get the hell out of the way. And now he's got his girlfriend, his 24-year-old girlfriend, miking him up during a practice. What is this, man? I've put this off long enough with this whole Jordan Hudson thing. What is this? Like, it's weird that he's 70 and she's 24. Like, we already understand that. 25, whatever she is. She's younger than me. But what is going on? She's, like, literally controlling his life, man. This is like a conservatorship. What the fuck is this? And by the way, this has not been talked about a ton, but, like, Belichick has 3 grown kids. Right? 2 of them are coaching in football. One of them, Steven, is on the staff at North Carolina. Like, they're all considerably older than his girlfriend. Okay. Like, how awkward is that when, you are coaching under your dad, as you did in New England. Steven did that in New England. And here's this girlfriend that you're already probably uncomfortable with, the fact that she's, almost 50 years younger than him. But now she's controlling everything that's going on in his life, like everything. Media inquiries go through her. And now she's on the field in practice while he's trying to run a practice. Like, how is Steven not like, I can't do this. This is too weird, man. I had a good thing going at the University of Washington. I might go back there. I was doing it. I was on my own. I didn't have to see my future stepmom, who's 10, 15 years younger than me, gallivanting around practice every day. Can I bring Zach in here, please? I need someone to help me out with this thing. Like, Zach, is this not really fucking weird?
Yeah, no, it is.
Like, is this misogynistic of me? Is this sexist of me? Because I think it's just very, very fucking bizarre.
No, I think that it's weird just in the scheme of here's what's weird of that clip from me. And it's just I don't remember the last time I was at like a practice or any sort of event, anything like that, and somebody who wasn't like a member of a coaching staff came up to a head coach like that in the middle of like, drills or stuff. I get
this is like Sandra Bullock in The Blind Side, man.
It's just like, it's like shorts, it's pads and shorts. It's, I get it's not a lot and it looks like they're warming up, but still, like, yeah, it does. It looks like, as you brought up Sandra Bullock from The Blind Side, I expect that more in high school football is where I see that, of where like a mom going up to a coach and be like, hey, Rodney's not going to be at practice on Thursday, but we got to take him to the dentist, but he'll be here. Like,
Jimmy's got to drive an hour.
Yeah. But
and the irony is that looks like Sandra Bullock in The Blind Side, and she handles Bill Belichick the way that the actual mom in The Blind Side handled Michael Orr, like complete conservatorship, and probably owes all his money now.
But the thing that strikes me the most about that is how, like, anti-Belichick that seems. Like, I saw a clip last week of I can't, why am I blinking now on the offensive lineman? It wasn't
Michael Orr.
No.
Could have been Matt Light.
It might have been
like on a media hit.
Yeah, he was.
He did a lot of those.
I think it was on Edelman. It was Light. It was Matt Light.
Yeah.
Because he was talking about the email exchange that he has of Bill Belichick when he was like attending like NFL PA meetings and wasn't at workouts, and it's this very just tense and like mean, just like shit talking back and forth for him missing practices. Now that guy who wants to go through with all just this passive aggressive, just like, even when Light's reading it, it just feels like he's just verbally just like, poking his finger in his chest email form. That guy is now doing that.
That's the thing that gets me too, because I hate when people say, like, in relation to sports, and I've seen it a lot over the last few years, people my age in Boston sports, like players retiring and stuff, and they'll be like, oh, my childhood's gone. It's like, yeah, that's what's supposed to happen. You're an adult. But like, obviously the Patriots dynasty's been over for a few years now, and it's hitting rock bottom. Hopefully this is rock bottom. But what strikes it to me, Zach, is like growing up with the Patriots and that dynasty, like, again, it's going to sound cheesy as holy hell, but it did teach me a lot about life, right? Like that everything is earned, like nothing is given to you, and that it's a good way to go through life to focus on the goal and teamwork and not any of the outside distractions and all. Like, to me, that's what the Patriot way was, that you don't make excuses. You work together. You do what you can control, what is responsible to you, and the situations going on around you, and you're ready. That's like Bill Belichick indirectly taught me a lot about life. And then there's this. Then there's whatever this is. Like there's this thing of a girlfriend. This is life. Like, you do all those things that I just mentioned, the Patriot way, right? And you work hard and you do your job and you don't make excuses. And then it all pays off when you're rich and you have a really hot girlfriend. Yeah. That's what Bill Belichick has taught me about life. Then you can retire without retiring. By the way, the music set to it, which I can't play, obviously, is Girls Just Want to Have Fun.
That's funny.
By Cyndi Lauper.
I will say, she matched pretty well, though. Like,
she's got a sense of style.
She does. I gotta give her that. But she also kind of sticks out a bit there at football practice, and it looks like she's, I don't know. I've seen like wrestling entrance gear look exactly like that.
And by the way, does anybody believe this is going to end well? Like, is there a scenario where they ride off into the sunset? Belichick dies when he's 95.
Yeah,
with 40-year-old Jordan Hudson by his side, plenty of life to live. Like, and it's a John and Yoko thing. I just don't, like, in a year, Belichick will get sick of this crap. Like, he has to. Everything we know about Bill Belichick in his life, he'll get sick of this. And then she'll talk shit about him. She'll become some sort of celebrity. And then, she'll have a podcast and everything. And then a year after that, she'll say, oh, I can't even go outside anymore. There's too much paparazzi. It's going to be the same cycle that we see all the time.
So
and
okay.
and it's going to be, hopefully, I mean, maybe that just becomes an embarrassing footnote. And maybe he loves her, Zach, but this is fucking weird.
I'm not going to
This
comment
is
on
fucking weird.
it. Is it's strange to see again what we thought of, or what at least I thought of one coach, and then seeing
Like she
that.
trolls the Falcons with that like Falcons Super Bowl champion shirt. It's like, you are in high school. Like literally, she was in high school
Well, she
when
watched
that
it at
game
least, though.
happened.
But she watched it at least.
Yeah, and she was shopping for prom dresses at halftime. Like, I was in college when that game happened. I know she was not. That like, what happened? What happened to Bill Belichick, man?
Midlife
I could
crisis.
see,
This is
you
what
know,
not being a coach. This is what not coaching did for him.
I could see what Robert Kraft kind of becoming this. Like
Yeah,
he was, and again, still on the long depth of his run, still a great owner, but always kind of had that kind of self-centeredness. He ran Bill Parcells out of town, even though he was the best thing that ever happened to the franchise at the time. And Tom Brady, I said it for years, it's going to be weird when he's, you know, post-retirement. I didn't think he would go into broadcasting, but it was going to be weird. It was going to be food stuff, cookbooks, you know, anti-aging creams, anti-cancer water. Like, we knew that was going to be like some Tony Robbins type of shit. I expected Belichick to coach another NFL team. I didn't know if it was going to be great or not. And maybe he would do some of the other stuff he was doing, like film breakdown, TV stuff. I did not expect this. He was the least likely, I thought, of that triumvirate to have just like the most bizarre post-Patriots career. I think you'd have to call that one the most bizarre.
Oh, absolutely. Like, I don't think it's even. Yeah.
God, it's so weird, man.
I think we both kind of already thought that this was going to be interesting to begin with. Just him in the college game. I think when you add her to it, not like the two are like connected in a way. Like, obviously she's there at practice, but I don't think that like what's going on between them personally is going to affect how he coaches the football team.
I hope not.
Not in a way of just like how people's personal lives can just get to him like everybody else's thing. But I don't think it's like that. But it will be interesting for me to see both of these things. How long does he keep then the, you know, the young, really hot girlfriend to appease or to make him look as cool or whatever it's for, or for them to be in love, whatever it is. I'm not going to question that. That's not
love is love, Zach.
Yeah. Or how long is it going to take for him to just be like, man, I should have fucking stayed retired. Like, why did I come out and think that I should coach North Carolina? I think that if anything, he wants to coach in the NFL. I think that he thinks that maybe I'll just do this for a year, a job will open that I want, and then next year I'm back in. Like, I think it's something like that. I don't see this happening long. And if he doesn't get that opportunity, it could be one and done. And I just see this not working out good for anybody, like in the long run. So I don't get it, but it'll be fun to watch. I'm a little bummed out they're not going to do that Hard Knocks covering it.
I just can't believe. Maybe winning the 6 Super Bowls, like that was it, because this dude was not distracted by anything. Like he ruined, you know, it ruined football. I'm sure ruined a long-term relationship he had with a woman, Linda Holiday, when he was with the Patriots. His wife and mother of his 3 children. And yet here he is after the Patriots. Just like, yep, I'm gonna do rich old guy stuff. I'm going to have a hobby, coaching college football. I'm going to have a hot young girlfriend.
It's just a weird hobby.
Makes me more likable.
Like usually he should have taken up woodworking. He didn't need to come back to coaching. Like
fishing or something.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, he can have the hot girlfriend and then like, man, I'm really big into deep sea fishing now. And all we get to see is these weird pictures of him holding up like, you know, giant ass marlins off the Florida coast.
Yeah, and
like,
Barstool's posting it being like Belichick's living his best life.
Exactly.
That's what it should be.
That's what I expected. Yeah.
But it's not. Thanks for that, Zach. I appreciate that. Thanks for keeping us on the air today. Let me know what you guys think about the Belichick post-Patriots days. Let me know in the comments below. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel. You can find us live on YouTube 5 days a week, high noon Eastern time, and then available wherever you get your podcast. Check out the other videos on the channel to keep you updated with Boston sports news every single weekday. That was Zach Burke. I'm Cam Stewart. We will see you tomorrow on a little ditty we like to call The Cam Show.
Transform your workspace with Hanomi Ergonomics. From adjustable chairs to standing desks, we provide solutions for comfort and productivity, whether at home or in the office. Improve your posture, reduce strain, and work smarter. Visit us at hanomi.co today. That's HINOMI.co today. Experience the future of secure private cloud storage with Internex. Protect your files with end-to-end encryption, ensuring your data stays private and accessible only to you. Enjoy seamless, fast storage without compromising security. Visit Internex.com today and take control of your digital life. That's INTERNXT.com today. Protect your online privacy with NordVPN. Browse securely, access content from anywhere, and keep your data safe with military-grade encryption. Whether at home or on the go, NordVPN ensures your digital freedom. Stay secure. Download NordVPN today at nordvpn.com. That's NORDVPN.com. Sains, we understand that maintaining a healthy lifestyle can be challenging, especially in today's fast-paced world. That's why our mission is to make fitness accessible to everyone, anywhere. Committed to excellence, we adopt a user-centric approach guided by ergonomics and medical science. With a team of seasoned professionals in R&D, design, and manufacturing, we prioritize quality across our entire product line. Visit TwoSains.com today and start your journey to better health. That's TOUSAINS.com.